I'd like to call our meeting to order. I am. Welcome and Happy New Year to everyone this morning. We're delighted you could join us as we reorganize the Carmel Clay School Board. And we have a very exciting meeting planned, so we'll get started with roll call.
Yes, Madam President, everybody is here at the moment.
Okay, we'll begin with the pledge. We have Ms. Kathy Freed and Tricia Hackett who will be leading us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next this morning we have the oath of office, and we are fortunate to have with us this morning the Honorable Judge Felix, who's going to be administering the oath to Mrs. Freed and Mrs. Hackett. So the two of you join Judge Felix at the podium.
Well, it's a real honor to be here today to administer the oath to both of you, one an experienced member of the school board, one who may be the first time, but a very experienced educator. It is a real privilege for me to administer this oath. Would you both please raise your right hand and follow after me? I state your name.
I, Kathy Freed,
Do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute the duties
I will faithfully execute the duties
of my office as a member of this governing board,
of my office as a member of this governing board.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Your Honor. Congratulations, ladies. Why don't you please join us up here at the podium? Next, we need to elect our officers for 2013, and I will ask for a nomination for a slate of officers.
I'd like to make a motion. I would like to move that we nominate the slate of Layla Spangenberg as president, Pam Niles as vice president, and our newest member, Kathy Freed, as secretary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Discussion.
Please.
Ms. Hackett.
I set forth that this slate of nominations, and I just want to say why. Layla has served as our president for the past 6 months, has done a tremendous job of organizing this board and providing leadership to the district. Vice president is a position that really needs to work hand in hand really closely with the president and be supportive. And Pam and Layla work very well together. I think that would be a great team, and I trust and I'm confident in Pam being that bridge of communication between that tough job of president and the rest of the board to provide leadership. And the role of secretary is a role, the way that we use it on the board, that's a really good training ground. You really get to know some of the background workings, and I think the role would be good for Kathy, and I think Kathy would be good for the role.
Thank you very much. Are there other discussion items? Mr. Phillips.
I'd like to second all that, too.
You can be doing the work.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And I appreciate the kind words that you shared. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have a series of appointments that we need to approve, and for our first appointment, we will go to Dr. Swenson.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. It's my pleasure to recommend to you first the appointment of a treasurer and deputy treasurer, and then At the same time, each of those positions needs to have bonds approved, both for treasurer and deputy treasurer, and then there's also a bond for you to approve for extracurricular treasurers. I would recommend to you Roger McMichael as treasurer, David Stowers as deputy treasurer. Both of these gentlemen have served us faithfully well and with great aplomb in both of these positions. The bonds, in this case, they're continuation bonds for treasurer and deputy treasurer in the amount of $300,000 each, and then there is a position schedule for extracurricular treasurers in the amount of $50,000 for the high school, $20,000 for the middle schools, $10,000 for the elementary school and the ESC, and these are consistent with where we've been in the past in regard to these positions and to the amounts mentioned. And that would be my recommendation unto it in regard to these appointments.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Discussion. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to number 2, General Counsel.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. General Counsel is a most important position, serves to provide exemplary advice to the board in many matters, all of them weighty, and it's my pleasure to recommend Mr. David Day as General Counsel. Mr. Day has served this board for many years with distinction, and his firm of Church, Hiddle, and Antrim stands behind and beside him in all these regards, and I believe that Mr. Day would fulfill this appointment again with aplomb.
Motion.
I move appointment of David Day as our general counsel.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Discussion.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Third on our agenda, we have the Executive Secretary.
Thank you very much. I would like to recommend to the board Mrs. Dana Kendall as your Executive Secretary. Mrs. Kendall's service to boards throughout the years has been nothing less than exemplary. I believe that her appointment probably will be met with acclaim and in recognition of her aplomb.
Motion. Second.
I'll second.
All in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dana. Next on our agenda, we have the recommendation for the cable TV representative.
Yes, indeed. My last recommendation to you during this meeting will be the position of cable television representative. This august and rather mystical position exists for many reasons that are far too numerous to mention at this time, but we do have the very good fortune to have Mrs. Christy Cloud, who has served in this position previously, and I certainly would recommend her as your cable television representative, and I don't think it's proper, but I'm to say in terms of technology that things are done with aplomb, but I'm old-fashioned enough to say that she will serve with aplomb.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in discussion. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Next on our agenda, we have the ISBA delegate and ISBA legislative liaison. And, well, Mrs. Niles has filled that position for a couple years and has done an excellent job with that and really has worked well as our liaison to all of those very important legislative, I guess, laws and ideas, and you've served us well. And I know it is our recommendation to continue having you serve in that role. Do I have a motion to have Mrs. Niles continue in that position?
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And next on our list is the Carmel Clay Parks Board representative. Do I have a motion to have Mrs. Freed serve in that position?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Oh.
Mr. Phillips seconds. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Next, we need to establish salaries for the board members, and it is recommended that school board salaries remain at the $2,000 as permissible by law. Do I have a recommendation, or do I have an approval of that recommendation?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And last on our agenda item is the approval of consent. Do I have a motion to approve consent?
So moved.
Second? Mr. Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Well then, thank you very much. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank everyone for joining us this morning, and please invite you to have a little tasty treat in back as we mingle this morning. Meeting adjourned.
Official, yes, absolutely. Okay. Gosh, we could have had our meeting a little earlier. Our meeting.
We can start earlier.
Thank you.
Wonder why, David.
That's right. Okay, so let me go fast. No, you.
Turn them on by pressing the little button.
Linda's got to see it like you do. Really, you can go either way.
Thank you.